This is a radio station of the SDC Radio Networks. The music of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Nights I'm standing, waiting and watching, looking for the right smile, thinking of all the others that couldn't hold me for a while. Then you came softly, sat down beside me, whispered your name, and drove me insane. Girl, you make my life, you make my life so beautiful. You make my life so beautiful. You make my life so beautiful. Yes, you do. Love's experience has given you to me. I'm gonna take this time. I'm gonna be so happy. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Touching you forever would be something. Hey, I'd never mind, baby. I'd never mind. You're the one who captured my fancy, and you're the one who took the yearning away. Yeah. You make my life so beautiful. You make my life so beautiful. My life so beautiful. Yes, you do. Hey girl, it's you and me, me and you. Forever we will always do the things that's right. You make my life. You make my life so beautiful. I got you by my side. It's alright. 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 I got you by my side. Hey baby, by my side. It's alright, by my side. I got you, you and me, by my side. Stay here forever, by my side. Love you, baby, need you, baby, want you, baby. Ooh, by my side, by my side. I got.
This is a radio station of the
This is your
SDC
host,
Radio
Kenneth Howard
Networks.
Smith,
The music
and you're
of yesterday,
listening to Smith
today,
Bits,
and tomorrow.
Rant and Rave
Thanks for
Radio.
listening.
And today, it's a wonderful day in the desert out here in Surprise, Arizona. But anyway, let's get right to the news right quick. The Smith family, we lost our dear brother, Theodore Alexander Smith, last night. What a valiant warrior. My brother was sick for almost 20 days. Intensive care and everything. And we lost him early this morning. And God speed my brother. I love you so much. And I can say one thing. If I had to choose all over again, you'd still be my brother. But one thing I tell you that we will keep a legacy on is that we Smiths, exactly what our namesake speaks of, we are builders. And one thing I can tell you, my brother down in Atlanta, when he was opening up his medical clinic, him and Dr. Merlin suffered a stroke, massive, basically 3 heart attacks, bad liver, kidneys failed. Everything happened to my baby brother. And I'm going to miss him dearly. Family's going to miss him dearly. His friends are going to miss him dearly. But he was doing what he wanted to do. Teddy was a builder. Like I said, he was a smith, and we build things. And my brother was not happy unless he had a hammer in his hand. And Jesus, we're going to talk about Theodore Smith hammering up the neighborhood. Okay? Basically, it starts like this. As kids living in Bakersfield, California, one of the first sets that I remember getting, one of the first tool sets that we got as kids, Teddy got one and I got one. It was a box. Oh, a big old tool box. And we couldn't wait. We'd been tearing through the paper for Christmas, so we knew what we was going to get. And we couldn't wait to get our hands on this tool set that our mom and dad had bought us. Okay. Christmas comes, hey, tear into the toolbox. And I mean, small miniature tools made in Japan. Okay. But the craziest thing about it was real small hammers and a wood, wood handles. It was a hammer head. I mean, a claw hammer. And it was like a real saw, but with like maybe a foot long. With a handle on it, so maybe 6 or 7 inches. But it was real stainless steel. All right? This was in a kid's tool chest, along with other little tools and wrenches and pliers and all kinds of crazy stuff. But these kids, hey, you want to try out this shiny thing with these rough edges on it, right? So, right off the bat, you look around for something and, mom and dad's coffee table right in the middle of the living room. So we proceed, me and my brother, to saw into this coffee table. And I tell you, it can't really make it that much. I tell you, we end up sawing into this beautiful system, and you know what happened? Mom and Dad quickly retrieved the tool set quickly, and that was the end of it. But we still like tools and building. My brother did things most of all. He loved making rockets. That was a big thing. Sputnik. When Sputnik came about, rockets became a hot thing. But the craziest thing was that our father was already in the rocket business. He worked out at Edwards Air Force Base over at the rocket sled. That's what my father did. So he'd tell us about rockets, ground rockets, when these guys would be zooming down the track 2 and 3 miles long, sometimes 5 miles long, and they hit this water to slow them down. They learned a lot about rocket sleds. It ain't nothing like you think of. But anyway, you can go back to history to find out that. But anyway, what I did do gave us the ability to us to imagine things and build them. Imagine it all and build it. Theodore was one of those imaginary engineers. And it didn't take him long to put together things like rockets and all kinds of little devices around the house to ease working. But one of the craziest things that he designed that was absolutely incredible was that when he was 15 years old, when he was living with our sister down in Los Angeles, there was just the beginning of the open mentor projects. And you had to be 16 years old. But they were just shoving kids back in those days. They was body counts. Anyway, Teddy took a test, a mechanical test, for placement in these new, Head Start school that they had in Los Angeles. And Teddy scored very high. And he ended up working in a factory that designed airplane wings. And one of his designs ends up on the brand new 747 design when he was a kid. But because he told a story on his initial application, when they found out that he was only 14 and a half instead of 16 that he was supposed to be, he was disqualified for making a false statement on his application. But they kept his design. Isn't that amazing? And he would draw freestyle, but it's some of the craziest things that he would see. He could see things out of glass. He loved playing with glass, building decks. And today's story is about the house in the hills above Lake Washington in Seattle, Washington. It was the ugliest house in the whole neighborhood. I mean, the neighbors were complaining. They wanted this shack torn down to the ground. It was beyond an eyesore. It was dragging their property values to the dirt. And the people that owned the property didn't want to get rid of it. And then finally nobody wanted to buy it because it was going to take a fortune to tear it down. It was going to take all kinds of things, to make it happen. But unfortunately, my brother decided to bid on this house and pick it up. Well, first thing he did was bust out the driveway and created a downdraft to where it was an underground driveway that the house sat on a hill on the bank. Took the broken sidewalk concrete pieces and stacked them up against the hill to secure the hill in and then tied it in. Brilliant. Cracked used cement. Went to the used wood store all over Seattle and Tacoma and found used wood. Rebuilt the inside of the house. Stripped the house out. Redid it. Enlarged bedrooms. Added bedrooms. Redid the kitchen. Just totally revamped the inside of the house. On the outside, built a deck. Wrapped the whole house in a gorgeous deck. All in used wood. Cost him peanuts. A lot of labor. And I'll tell you the craziest thing. When he finished, it was the most beautiful house on Lake Washington. One of those things that one can and cannot do. But Theodore, hey, he loved building decks. And some of the decks he'd build, as time went on, they'd hang off cliffs in Park City, Utah. That was some of the things he did. But Theodore also did other things, being an inventor. He also helped build a styrofoam block, a permanent in-place concrete form that became the history of styrofoam building on the South Pole and on the North Pole. Styrofoam. I mean, the joke was that we built with big blocks, and Theodore's blocks were humongous blocks. Poured cement cores down them. And I mean, the R factor in a house was absolutely incredible. We used to laugh in the basement when you build it with one of these styrofoam construction blocks. You could literally light and heat a basement with a light bulb. It is no joke. No joke. I mean, here's how it works. a styrofoam cup, right, that you get the hot coffee in, just like that. Except imagine that styrofoam cup with the density of about 1.5 feet, with the same density. That's what we're talking about. Okay, can you see it? Take a styrofoam cup and you blow up the corners to 1.5 feet wide with the same density. That was the polyfoam styrene block. And Theodore had a big hand in building and designing homes made with this product. These homes are fantastic. Heat and cold, I mean, no matter what the variation was in the weather, these homes would maintain a constant heat control. Saved power all over. You built them in the attic. It was incredible. From that point on, Theodore kind of got out of building with styrofoam and got into working with cell phone towers. So all of you people out there with a cell phone, I ain't gonna say raise your hand, but yeah, raise your hand. Back in the early 1990s, Mr. Smith and Mr. Dillard, they got a contract with a company called Halliburton. And they were given 2 sites to build cell phone towers up in northern Washington, up in the mountains, way up there. Nobody really didn't want to mess with it. So anyway, these 2 gentlemen got together a crew, got their people together, and they went out and installed these 2 cell towers in record time. They had to be in line in 45 days because they knew it was going to take them 45 days. They did it. They turned it on in 27 days, both towers. So they considered, the other people who were doing towers, they considered it was just luck. Oh no, not these guys who can build cell phone towers, and they can turn 2 towers on in 27 days. Well, Halliburton ended up giving my brother many contracts. Over the years, he and Merlin would build approximately 18,500 cell towers all over the world. Kenya, they introduced cell phone towers. Now, that was a crazy place in Kenya, because for every cell tower they built, they had to build 800 homes. But as we know how that went, all the homes that they built went to the military. So people still was living out. But I guess they're doing a little bit better now than they've had in a while. But anyway, just another little story about my brother. We loved him so much, and the only thing I could tell you people is this, be careful with those pills that you take called ibuprofen, alright? Tylenol and all that stuff. Those are called NSAIDs, okay? You can't pop those things like candy. You got to be careful with those things because they're not nice. And I tell you, my beloved brother, he fought the good life. Lord knows he created a great life for us. And we appreciate him and we'll love him forever. And I tell you what, I'm so thankful that God let me share my time with him because he was a wonderful person. He really was. And we'll have more stories as time come along. This ain't the end. Since my brother can't here to defend himself, I can brag about it now. Anyway, brother Theodore Alexander Smith, we love you dearly. This is just brother Kenny Smith. See you, brother.
Nights I'm standing, waiting and watching, looking for the right smile, thinking of all the others that couldn't hold Yes, you do. Love's experience has given you to me. I'm gonna take this time. I'm gonna be so happy. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Touching you forever would be something. Hey, I never mind, baby. I never mind. You're the one who captured my fancy, and you're the one who took the yearning away. Yeah.
DTN Radio 1. Lock it on to the best station on the net, around the planet, on the World Wide Web. In the mix.